Hey everybody, it's your old pal Brian Hunt, and welcome to another episode of 60 Seconds of Risk. Today I'm very pleased to have an old friend and one of the Jedi Masters when it comes to construction in the insurance and property world, as Mr. Patrick McBride of Zurich. Patrick, welcome to the show.
Very kind of you, Brian. I don't know if I deserve that, but thank you.
Right. So Patrick, tell us a little about your role and what you guys do at Zurich.
Yeah, absolutely. So my role, I'm head of construction property for Zurich North America. So I'm responsible for our builder's risk solutions, both on a master basis and a one-off project builder's risk basis.
Sure.
We're also responsible for the construction property package solution, which is a property package solution for contractors.
Okay.
We also have an operational civil product geared towards operational civil structures, then time element and physical damage component of those structures. And then two of our new solutions, which I'm very excited about, our mass timber master builder's risk solution, and then the product we're here to talk about today, our Zurich Construction Weather Parametric solution.
Yeah, so let's talk about Parametric. So I came onto the broker world relatively recent in life, but the concept of risk comes from all different perils. And as I've come to learn over the years that weather typically was a coverage that you really couldn't get traditional insurance for. It's just very hard to underwrite it for. But with the change of AI and technology and access to information, parametric solutions have come on to sort of bring about solutions that traditional insurance couldn't do. And it's been used a lot in the past for agricultural insurance and trades. But what's really, I think, has been exciting is the adaptive of parametric coverage to help maybe transfer some of those risks specifically to construction that you couldn't do in the past, correct?
Absolutely. You're spot on. As really big data has evolved over time, and by definition, the ability to create parameters around that data and apply them to certain situations from a predictability standpoint, it has become more available to create and craft some alternative risk solutions dealing with certain triggers that traditional insurance from a property perspective, which require physical damage to exist in order to trigger any sort of indemnity, versus building a parameter, and if that parameter is met based on that data and the actual event themselves, triggering coverage not requiring physical damage. So there are many evolutions, you know, and the product that Zurich has created is exactly geared towards one of our largest commitment, and that's the construction space.
So in the past, and I think you and I have talked about this, but you guys have evolved your package to not just cover, say, rain, but you also include other perils as well,
correct? Yeah, we initially launched with 4 peril sets within the original product offering. So it was the peril of rain, wind, heat, and cold. Exciting latest news is when we launched this product in January of 2021, we built those perils. Really don't think of this product as a NatCat solution. Yes, there are obvious NatCat applications when we talk about hurricane or extreme wind, but those 4 perils can really occur anywhere in the United States. And unfortunately, as we continue to see, the severity and frequent severe events continue to occur in places that we previously didn't expect. We're also very excited to have recently launched the peril of snow to provide as well. So we now have 5 different perils that we can offer coverage for.
Very exciting. So I have firsthand knowledge of this product because Patrick and his colleagues placed this coverage for one of my clients in my old firm. Didn't quite get the payout, I can't remember, but it was pretty close.
It was. You know, that particular facility in Fort Worth, Texas, did end up suffering a number of deductible days, which our product is, must meet in order for the policy to eventually pay out. But it was a very well received product from that particular client. And
I think what's the great thing about it is highly customizable to actually to allow you to transfer that risk that you think is associated with the job. So obviously in Texas, things like when you're pouring the concrete, rain during the critical path can be an issue. If you're laying down asphalt and tar, it gets way too hot, people can't work, that's another issue. If you're high up, work with a crane, it's too windy, that's an issue as well. And then obviously, people watch this in the Northeast, snow days, Canada, Montreal, that obviously can be sort of a pain when you're trying to do construction.
You're exactly right. So I mean, the application of situations is really, if you're building a project outside, there's exposure to wind, and it's a highly customizable product. You can look at key milestones that you're particularly concerned over, key perils that you're concerned over, key aspects of the project that you want to make sure that you have some sort of indemnity that doesn't have to have that physical damage trigger in order to seek a sort of indemnity. And the types of coverage we're talking about, depending on whether a general contractor or an owner buys it, it's available to either or. General contractor, think general condition expenses, think labor costs, think equipment rental
per diem
costs.
Overruns, correct.
Exactly. Those are costs that contractors incur regardless of whether they're able to work that day. And so this product can actually fill an uninsurable gap right now in the marketplace, which is really exciting. And then from an owner perspective, it can actually be tailored to cover, those traditional delay and startup type coverages, loss of earnings, loss of rents, things like that. but what's unique is, one, it doesn't require physical damage, and two, it can be indemnified much closer to when that delay occurs or that interruption occurs versus having to wait on a traditional builder's risk policy in order to access cover when it goes past the anticipated date of completion.
Yeah, and I think I've had that conversation with developers on that product and how you use Parametric, and I think a classic example is, say, you see the escalation and growth of third-party owned dormitories.
Yep.
Not run by the university, but the third parties. And those dorms got to be open on that certain date. Because I just moved my youngest into a dorm, it had to be open. So if there's a cost overrun, they have to transfer, kids to the hotels, and that's the kind of thing that can be covered if you do it properly.
Exactly. I mean, you speak to any sort of project that has a time dependency from a financial perspective, has this exposure, and we joke, what type of project doesn't have that type of exposure.
Yeah.
So another reason why we were very excited to have this offering, as we think the application really is endless and has been in our experience.
No, I totally agree with you. Now, just for everybody to understand, your solution for the Parametric is an add-on to your builder's risk, correct?
Yeah, correct. A little bit about the strategy and maybe a little bit about the product itself.
Sure.
So we initially launched this product in correlation. You had to buy a Zurich builder's risk, but we quickly found there were scenarios where that might not make sense. Think of a Department of Transportation contract that may not require builder's risk.
Okay.
Well, you think about any street and road project, that's going to have exposure to rain, wind, heat,
absolutely.
and cold,
Right.
as well as snow. So we quickly walked that back, and so they just have to have an active Zurich product.
Okay.
Any sort of product.
So cyber, general liability.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then the product itself, it's very interesting. It pays out an average daily loss value, so it pays out every day that the trigger occurs.
Oh, okay.
Once a day deductible has been met.
Okay.
The day deductible is not sequential, meaning if they buy 10 days of rain cover and they have a 6-day deductible, on the 7th day over the course of the project that the trigger is met, that's when the policy pays. And then it also has an aggregate as well that it's subject to. So really interesting structure on how we decided to approach it.
Have you seen sort of a couple questions, like any particular industry type of general contractor using it the most? Or
The great thing is we've had success in binding a number of different projects. They've been on behalf of both general contractors and owners.
And the owners, okay.
And they've been in the commercial high-rise space. They've been in, you mentioned a school project. We've had a school district interested in the product.
Yeah.
And then on the contractor side, we've bound a number of utility-oriented projects, some power generation-oriented projects, and some general floor-wall construction.
Awesome, very good. Patrick, thank you so much for your time. It's very informative. I'm a big believer of Parametric. It's something that's new, innovative, and something that brings to the table that in the past hasn't been there for construction clients and developers.
Absolutely.
So again, Patrick, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Brian.
Everybody, I hope you enjoy this. Like all times, if you want to see a certain topic or individual on the show, please post a note on LinkedIn. You can also subscribe to my channel on YouTube, and also find links to this on Twitter. Until next time, bye guys.